What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So I have got quite a bit of amazing life-size busts lately, and I thought it was time to do an updated. Now top 10 is too difficult. I got too many busts. I got probably 50 now. I haven't counted, but probably 50 and more on the way. And definitely some of my pre-orders will make the top like 15 lists, notably Joker bust, Harley bust. Definitely those two will make it, and probably the Alien bust by Queen as well. I think those three will make it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, those are my three big ones. But I did want to do an updated top 15 busts. This time we will be going 15 to 1 to build up the anticipation. So a lot goes into me ranking these. One, overall design of the bust, the base, the outfit, how cool the general body looks, and how accurate and good the portrait is, and overall how I feel about it. So some of these you might think should be higher up on the list, and there's reasons I don't put them higher up on the list. But let's get to it. So number 15 is actually going to be Lerps bust. So the reason this is lower is because the base. The base is simply just a black plate, and I really don't like that. Now, Jupe has done a far superior base, but it was limited to 5, sold out instantly. I didn't get it, and I have this one. So I did add this little logo to improve it, but bust without a good base to me really lacks. Like, it really lacks. And I would not even put this on the list if it wasn't for that amazing portrait. The body is okay. It's nothing to brag home about. It's just armor. But if you took away that portrait, I would put this as a very mediocre bust, in all honesty. That, meh. But you look at that portrait and you're like, holy Jupiter's cock, that is amazing. Especially with when you're sitting down and you get a good angle at this. The mouth is phenomenal. The eyes are glass and incredible, and there's just something about it that just looks really gruesome, and it's huge, like really big head. This is a much bigger head than your average bust, so this thing has incredible presence. This Lerps bust has two things really going for it. An absolutely phenomenal portrait, and then size. And also the fact that it's a cool looking creature, an orc from Lord of the Rings. So, those are the things really going for this bust, but really that portrait is what adds this to the list. If this had a far superior bust or base, I would definitely rank it higher up on my list. Of all the busts that have the best base, I'd actually probably put it possibly to Godzilla. And Godzilla's not on this list, notably because lack of glass eyes. Glass eyes to me is pretty much a deal breaker for getting on a top 15 list. If you don't have glass eyes, get out of here. So, Prime 1 should have did little glass eyes. Even though they're tiny, still, glass eyes to me is a big deal. It really, really is. And because of that, some of these, busts will not make the list due to lack of glass eyes. Number 14 is actually the Fawn bust. Now, this only has one issue: the hair is not long enough. On the 1/3, they made his hair quite long. As you can see coming in the back. This one, it can't even go over the shoulders. They made it too short. And that is honestly the only flaw with this piece. I love the base design. The chest looks like real tree wood. Very good paint job. It has the whole moss effect. The eyes are absolutely incredible. And it's also very big. The horns make this thing freakishly big, and I really love it. It's just the hair is a little bit too short, in my opinion. So that is honestly the only reason, the biggest flaw of this bust is the hair is a little short, but at the end of the day, it is an absolutely phenomenal bust. So that's number 14, is the Fawn bust. Then we get to number 13, which is in here. And that's actually going to be Infinity Studios' Batman bust. So I would say the biggest flaws in this one, the base is only okay. It's not phenomenal. And it's also just, frankly, a bitch to display. This thing's so hard to display and hard to get good angles because his arm is blocking a lot of his chest. And you can't really get good angles. And I don't like a bust when it blocks itself. But the pose is pretty cool. Now, this does have immaculate detail in the eyes and in the mouth. And the armor looks really good. It's very well done. The batarang looks cool. It's a massive, massive piece. Super, super cool. I would say the biggest flaw is I'd probably prefer maybe the regular Batman outfit as well. But, you know, lack of like hand-punched hair, more silicone skin. Overall, this is an absolutely amazing bust. You know, it's hard to even put too many flaws in this. It's not like the base sucks. It's still cool. It's just not like a 10 out of 10 base. It's like a 7 out of 10 base. You know, where like Wonder Woman to me is like a 10 out of 10 base. So Batman's number 13. Amazing bust. And all these busts are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, every bust I own I really do love. Just some of them can't make this list. Number 12 is actually going to be the Nun. So Nun, really glad Blue Box added a base, and I do like this base. It is probably also like a 7 out of 10 base. I did add that Nun logo. They only include the Valak one, which does have like some blood on it, believe it or not. That's really cool. I like the upside down crosses. It fits the theme of the bust well. Now, if you were to take out this portrait, you wouldn't think it's cool. You know, it's somewhat similar to Lerps, where this one has a much better base than Lerps, but the outfit, you know, it's just a nun. Nothing cool to look at there. But then when you see this portrait, I like this portrait even more than Lerps, believe it or not. I think Blue Box absolutely killed it, and this is one of my favorite portraits on any of my busts. The actual like skin paint app and detail, the teeth, the tongue, the eyes, this is an absolute 10 out of 10 Grail face. Like, this is the best of the best, pretty much. There's only a few other busts in my collection that actually are on par with this, and we'll get to those later. But this portrait alone is what makes this bust so incredibly impressive. So yeah, that is one reason this is one of my favorites. That portrait, absolutely phenomenal. Number 11 on the list is actually going to be the Alien bust. Now, this is by Little Shop of Horrors, Chase Smith. He's one of the most world-renowned alien painters out there. This is a very expensive bust. Now, what I would put as a flaw for this is it's freaking light. Thing weighs like 7 pounds. I'm not a fan of light things. It feels cheap to me. So if I was to guess, it's probably a very thin resin and then foam filled. The base probably weighs the most, but that's probably the biggest flaw. Plus, I'd love a little bit more body on this. Like, you know, make it sort of like the Prime 1 mini bust that goes on this dog alien that I have over there. If they did that style, but a full bust, this would be definitely Grail. I also do question what is the accurate paint job, because this to me is like a orange brown, where this is like a black brown. I don't know what's accurate to the movie, because it's very dark and it's kind of hard to say. The lighting is always weird in the movie, so I don't know what's accurate, but I wish they matched better. So I don't know which color I like better, the dark brown. This one you can obviously see, you know, the detail better, but you know, the paint app in general, whether it's movie accurate or not, is absolutely the best in my collection. This thing's ridiculously good. The mouth detail, absolutely insane. The dome. This thing's freaking Grail City when it comes to alien busts. And luckily, it looks good down low. You don't have like glass eyes to look at. It fits in a garage shelf at a slight angle and just looks amazing. And I did get a great deal on this because I would not have paid retail for it. But this is a phenomenal bust without a doubt. And every time I look at it, I'm like, God, that is so good. You know, I always say that when I see that. So that's number 11. Let's get to number 10. Still watching Fresh Off the Boat. I love that show. Number 10 is over here. Calm down, folks. And it is none other than Jack Sparrow. Jack has one flaw, the base. It's not super, super cool. It's like a 4 out of 10 base. Other than that, you know, there's not much you can do about his outfit. You know, that's his outfit. I did add some things to make this a lot better. The bust as is, I probably would even make it top 15, but with all the changes I did, to me, it makes it a top 15 bust. So I did add this little gold coin, his compass. I added this hairpiece. I added this, I added the hat, I changed out this, and I added an additional one over there, and I also changed out this. So I freaking changed this bust so much, but in such a good way. And this has also details similar to none, where it just looks like a real human. This is absolutely insanely lifelike. Incredible likeness to Johnny Depp, and lots of silicone. Like, this is actually all silicone, believe it or not. This entire thing is silicone. It's just covered in, you know, this. And there's like pores and skin texture all throughout this. Really is a phenomenal bust. The only thing is I would love a better base. Like, if this had like a, maybe the Black Pearl themed base, this would definitely be higher up on my list. But overall, absolutely phenomenal bust. So lifelike. Now, the next two we're getting to are actually not even silicone, but I just love these busts so much, and I think they truly are absolutely impressive. And that's going to be number 9 and 10, or sorry, 9 and 8. 9 is Jason, and 8 is Freddy. I do like Freddy slightly more. I just think his portrait looks cooler. But I do believe these ECC busts are absolutely freaking amazing. They're made of translucent resin, which is just a step down below silicone, but it doesn't have that fragility of silicone, which is really nice. Now, this one I did customize both busts. I did a new mask because the original mask honestly sucked balls. I hated it. I threw that in a deep, dark corner, and I'll never look at it again. And Freddy, I hated the hat. I thought it was garbage. So I changed it to this custom fedora hat, which looks 1,000 times cooler and better, by Luca Designs. But I really do love these busts. They're the one-arm bust, but they look great. The base is awesome. It's really themed towards the bust. The detail is phenomenal. You know, they have some of the best glass size out there. You can remove this mask, display his full portrait, but I do love that mask look a lot. And Freddy, obviously you can remove the mask. He has real metal claws, incredible likeness. One of my favorite glass size out there for sure. Overall, just high quality. He also has a light up in the base that shows like a little Freddy inside, which is pretty cool. But these busts truly are absolutely freaking amazing. Every time I look at them, I'm like, God, that's so good. I mean, I think the paint app could probably be slightly improved because I've seen some repaints on like Freddy that looked really good. But other than like maybe a slight repaint or making it silicone, these are freaking just top notch all around. So definitely very impressive for me. Let's get to number 7. Number 7 is a Marvel bust. I'm sure you guys can guess which one. And it is Thanos, who is my favorite Marvel bust. Now, I think Loki will probably top him, maybe even Doctor Strange, we'll see. Probably not Doctor Strange, maybe Loki. I think Loki will be the best Marvel bust out there. But I am a big fan of this Thanos. You know, it has probably one of my favorite bases of all my busts. I think this base is a freaking masterpiece, 10 out of 10. And definitely what sets this apart for me. In addition, the armor is absolutely amazing paint job, and it's massive. I do wish it was a little bit bigger, a little bit more armor, perhaps. Although it's already very wide as is. If anything, I wish it was taller. You know, maybe make the base a little bit taller. Portrait, spot on, looks phenomenal. This is one of their earlier silicone busts, so I do feel like they cheaped out a little on the glass size and the lack of acrylic teeth. But it's not like a huge downgrade. It's just like maybe like 1 point on the system. And the teeth, I did add a gloss to it, so it looks better. And the skin originally came out super dark and oily. And me applying baby powder definitely improved this bust, so I enjoy it quite a bit more. The overall armor and paint app is 10 out of 10 for me. You know, outside the face, I do wish was a little bit lighter colored. Other than that, this bust is freaking phenomenal, and he's my favorite villain, so it's definitely something I freaking love. Number 6 on the list is going to be Infinity Superman bust. This is a phenomenal bust, one of my most lifelike. Base similar to Batman, nothing to brag home about, but still pretty cool. He does have the full upper torso with incredible arms, hands. You know, you see his outfit underneath. And I don't know how much of this is all outfit or if it's all like the Superman costume. I've never tried to like undress this. I think it'd be quite difficult to do that. But I am curious if it has the full Superman underneath. It kind of looks like it does. But this is overall a phenomenal piece. I really do love it. The Superman outfit looks great. The hands look like real human hands. His outfit feels very high quality. Like, this is premium material. And the portrait is spot on Henry Cavill. Has a really great stubble effect. Really high quality glass eyes, you know, as high as you can get pretty much. Hair looks awesome. So I'm a huge fan of this piece. I think it's perfect, nearly. You know, I could probably improve the base concept a little bit. And I know some people prefer a full Superman outfit. But I really do love this bust. I think it's amazing. So that is number 6. Number 5 is going to be Wonder Woman. I think she, detail-wise, is not better than Superman. But the overall, how I feel about the bust, how much I like it, I like this one slightly more. This one has more presence and more detail. But this has a better base and more silicone all throughout. And I mean, it's Gal Gadot. I mean, she's freaking gorgeous. So I love her so much for that reason, you know, because I have a huge crush on Gal Gadot. So I love her armor design. The pose, I do like it, but I also kind of don't like it at the same time because it is her classic, you know, battle pose she used to defeat freaking Hades. And she uses it all the time, but it also blocks her, which is kind of annoying because I'd love to see all that gorgeous armor, which is really hard to see. But they did actually a really good paint job. I love the armor color, the gold. Really amazing job. I'd love if Queen gave the ability to do switch outs, but with the way they did the silicone, that's pretty much impossible. Nevertheless, this bust is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely freaking love it. So that is number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna have to give it to Elita bust. I think Elita has a slight edge above Wonder Woman. So I think the one big thing Wonder Woman has above her is she's more attractive. You know, because I love Gal Gadot. I'm not super, like, attracted to Elita. Like, she's kind of cute. But Wonder Woman's freaking gorgeous. Really, outside of that, you know, I think Elita overall is a better bust. It has a base that's equally as good, like a 10 out of 10 concept. I freaking love this base design. I love the fact she's not blocking anything. Now, it is a one-armed bust, but I think it's fine. It's similar to the ECC Freddy and Jason, where it works. Plus, that sword is incredibly cool. It's real metal. It's long as fuck, and it's just awesome. And she does have one of the best portraits out there, probably the best glass eyes. Now, these are custom glass eyes, and they are freaking amazing. And, you know, her silicone's really contained to just that. Hair looks really good. I do wish it was slightly shorter, and I'm not willing to cut it. But overall, it's a freaking just like perfect bust. It's so freaking good. Now, the next 3 on the list, I'm sure you guys can guess which are. This can vary depending on the day, on how this order goes. But realistically, these are my 3 favorite busts as of right now. So you can put it any way you want it. They're my 3 favorite. For the sake of the video, I'm going to put it in this order right now. Number 3, we're going to put Arnold bust. You know, one of my absolute favorite busts. This is one of Queen's earlier silicone busts, but they actually did really good job on this. You know, he has his stubble. The battle damage is really what makes this so incredible. You know, all that like skin flesh torn away with the endoskeleton underneath. Freaking amazing. You know, the bullets, massive chest damage. Even his jacket is damaged, and this feels really high quality. Awesome base. Not 10 out of 10, but I'd probably put it at like 8.5 to 9 out of 10 base. It's not super wide, which is both a good and a bad thing. I mean, it's hard to display wide bust, but it also gives it more presence. I do feel like this should be a little bit wider. You know, I would probably add an extra 2 inches on each side. I think it'd make it just a little bit better. Other than that, this bust is freaking perfect. But that's the only thing I'd probably recommend, is make it slightly wider. Otherwise, it's a freaking perfect bust. Would be cool if he had, you know, battle damage, like full half torso, similar to the Infinity one, but a T2 Arnold version. But for what it is, it's freaking perfect and one of my favorites. Number 2 is going to be the Pennywise silicone bust. Now, this is one that I did have to, you know, make some changes to make this good. Because if you... Sorry about that, folks. Wife calling me. So, yes, Pennywise bust is one I did have to make some changes to make him this good. Now, as is, he's still a top 10 bust without that. But me making adding the Prime 1 base from their Pennywise half scale is what makes this so incredible. Now, the face is 10 out of 10. One of my absolute favorite faces of all my busts in my collection. without a doubt. Outfit, you know, he is a lighter bust, similar to none, but his clothes do look high quality and look great. The base by Prime 1, they're half scale. The base was the best thing about that entire statue. And so I took the best part of that statue, added this bust, added the IT 3D logo, the balloon, the metal COA, and to me it made it one of the best busts ever made. So, you know, I did the hairstyling perfect, you know, where it has that twist curling up and then the side curling up, you know, just absolute perfection. Does have light up eyes, you know, light up glass eyes, acrylic teeth, silicone hand punched hair. Absolutely freaking phenomenal grail of grails for me. So before we get to number one, which I'm sure you guys already know, some honorable mentions would be all my remaining ECC busts. I freaking love them all. You know, all three of those. Freaking him. God, there's so many good busts out there. But, you know, definitely some honorable mentions. Heck, the remaining Marvel busts, Loki, Hulk. I freaking love them, but there's some reasons I don't include those. Hulk, lack of body. Loki, without his perfect portrait, he's nothing too special. But number one on my list is going to be my new Bruce Lee bust. So I did contemplate for a second, should I return this bust if you guys saw my original video. However, after getting to look at this bust from sitting in my chair, getting that perfect angle like that, this bust is my most detailed bust all around. It has tons of silicone, you know, because you get full silicone from basically elbow or like mid bicep up. Real like fingerprints and hands. He's holding his real nunchucks, like heavy wooden nunchucks. You got an extremely classy base that just looks amazing. And this bust really stands out because of the vibrant yellow and just how big it is. I mean, it's not like way tall. I mean, it's 30 inches tall, but the depth on this thing is like 40 inches. Epic pose. And that portrait just looks perfect. It is 100% Bruce Lee holding his nunchucks from freaking Game of Death. Absolutely freaking ridiculously lifelike. You know, so multiple reasons, you know, having just watched Enter the Dragon and a few Bruce Lee movies, it's so epic when he gets his nunchucks, does his whole nunchucks for like performance, and then ends with this pose. You're just like, oh, that is so cool. And having this in bust form is truly very special. And this bust is just freaking out of this world amazing. It truly is one you got to see in person because it just looks like a real human. And it's just so classy and well done. So definitely props to Infinity for making this holy grail of life-size busts and making the number one spot on my list. Now, there is some contenders that could contend this, you know, in the future. Infinity Studios' Harley Quinn bust and Joker bust. Both of those could contend this. I think if they turn out really, really good, they could maybe make it to the, you know, top 3 spots and maybe top Bruce Lee. We'll see. But those are a few. I do got like KD, Goku, Vegeta bust. Now, those are going to be phenomenal, but I don't think they'll make my top 15 list. But who knows? You know, it's just hard to compare like a DBZ bust to a silicone. But yeah, as of right now, these are my top 15 favorite busts in my collection. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you're looking to buy statues, use the links below, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.